Hey, good morning. I'm having a cup of coffee. Feels and tastes pretty good. Look where I'm at again, the feelings wheel. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm getting ready to start a psychic ability class. I'm calling this a little bit, I'm going to come out and say it. Susie Q's little mystery school is forming and shaping up now. So as I go through putting together the course, I'm also going to be giving you a few little tidbits of how you're able to tune in with your own psychic ability. Now you may say, well, that's kind of a weird way of putting it. I don't think I do that. I'm more of this kind of person or that kind of person. Well, just look at it this way. When you have an intuition or when you have a gut instinct or when you feel like something maybe bad is getting ready to happen and you know to adjust or do a pivot or come into a different alignment with yourself, then we know that that is what I'm calling psychic ability. Is that's how it started for me. As I started noticing, I started having precognitive experiences, so I was able to see a little bit into the future and then adjust, okay? And so we all do that. Men, women, cats and dogs, birds and flies. Anyway, so yesterday I had a most benevolent time with a juicy co-creator friend. And we were talking about, I don't know, I'm always a yakking. Anyway, but we came on this subject of, I don't even know, something to do with pain. And I can't even imagine how we even got there. And so this is when we're really starting to really work with a deeper and higher level of consciousness within. For some reason, I started talking about a Charlie horse in my calf. Who hasn't had a Charlie horse or who has had them? Me. Okay, so we won't even get into the remedies for actually eliminating that or dissolving that out of your field. But we'll just say, for those who've had Charlie horses, the old Susie Q was get up out of bed or wherever. Usually it's in bed, and I'd be stomp. Oh, it's so cute. There's a little bunny out. I go so scroll. There's a bunny. I put out some celery that had gone a little bit bad, and they're just loving it. Okay, so back to the Charlie horse. The Charlie horse is all about dealing with what we call pain. We give it a name. We give it a label of pain. Now on this chart here, I'm going to remove my face for a second, but on this chart here, feeling wheels, is when we look at the idea of pain. Now for me, pain is a judgment. That's the way I process this information. Is pain for me is a judgment. All right. But however, we're going to look at the feelings wheel. So this side is when your needs are not being met, and over here is when your needs are met. So we go to pain. Now pain and hurt could mean going into emotional or spiritual or physical pain. And in this case, because we're talking about the Charlie horse, we're going to give this feeling of the overall feeling tone is loss, sadness, and then it's going into these other emotional states here. So we're going to talk about this pain for a moment. So when we have this pain, then what we might have, if we go to the corresponding side, the exact opposite, this is when we have a gain, when we're really in our most aligned truth of who we are. We may be feeling more grateful, joyful, excited, ecstatic, and happy. So when we're starting to feel those things of pain, what we're having in the experiences is the opposite of joy. And so even if it's a physical pain, emotional pain, a spiritual pain, when we notice what is lacking or out of, I look so serious. I'm real serious about this. I'm so sorry to be so serious. Anyway, this pain thing is funny because, yeah, we do have pain in the body, and pain is the best messenger system for our body when we feel it physically, because even if we have emotional thoughts or spiritual thoughts or other kind of thoughts or dreams or awarenesses that are coming in that are related to pain, when it hits the body, whoa! When you get a Charlie horse, you're like, whoa, slow down the show, baby, because it hurts. But the emotional stuff hurts too, but for some reason we don't address that when it first comes on. We kind of start overlaying it with other things, or pushing it aside, or just putting it in a box. It's still there, but it's in a box inside a box inside of a box, but it's still there. So when we address the pain with the body, it's a super fantastic opportunity to change and shift your energy. So I was in the swimming pool, these people, and I'm talking about the Charlie horse, and I said, pain for me is simply just a judgment, and I don't want to judge myself. I love myself. I want to love myself more. I said, what I learned to do with the Charlie horse is just know that the pain itself, for me, this is my approach, is it was just simply a judgment. When I was able to finally get it, I don't know, I'm a little bit older now than I was before, but then I'm a little bit wiser now too, and I'm super juicy. But then I started looking at pain, and I started to just notice that that's simply a judgment. It's not true. It just isn't true, okay? This is about discovering the power within yourself. The power within yourself can create another possibility. It can change one timeline to another timeline where the pain is present, but you distance yourself from it, and then you let the body relax. For me, it's relaxing the body and knowing the pain isn't real. Knowing that it can go away in a split second. I don't resist it. We talked about in the swimming pool, my new friends. I got my new friends. We were talking about that resistance. The more you resist, the more it keeps showing up and going, showing up and showing up and showing up. So when you just disallow the resistance, disallow the pain, and just go into, oh, I'm a yogi, just going into that peaceful state, or that idea that it isn't true. It's not my truth. It maybe used to be my truth. It's not my truth today. So what I noticed with that, with the Charlie horse, when I just said it's not my truth, pain is a judgment, then I was able to notice how it slowly dissolved outside of my calf. And it was gone. I didn't have to get up and stomp my feet. So let's go here. So pain in the body. I got all these little pictures. Anyway, but pain in the body takes all these different forms, and but also our emotional state is the same thing as well. But when we really look at the body and we really start recognizing that the body is our biggest 911, it's a one heck of a 911. And this goes back into psychic ability or intuition or knowing your truth or being in alignment with who you are, is that when you have these hot spots. See, we got all these hot spots with this person, this beautiful being here has all these hot spots of pain and suffering. It looks like you see the back here, the spine, the hips. We've got some large joints here that are highly impacted by trauma. A lot of this starts from emotional states. We've got this thoracic. Yesterday I was working on a beautiful being, and we were working in this area of the spine yesterday. Again, we're hitting the joints here. Okay, so inflammation perhaps, and then the mind. So when we look at all of these different aspects of going into where our truth is and what is our truth, what is our truth? And then maybe you might say, okay, well, this psychic ability stuff is goofy, Susie. Or you might say, listen, I'm going to tune into my highest version of self. So when we get into this point where we're this person here, where there's inflammation and hot spots all over the body system, I have my notes here. And so it's going into the idea, okay, of transcending that feeling of pain and suspending it into another location or removing yourself from the pain and then unhinge that possibility. So these are some things that came in. I'm kind of all over the place today. I've got all kinds of things on here. I've actually created some cards here. I was feeling like with my couple of classes I'm putting some curriculum together on psychic ability and what's the other one? I don't know. I have a name for it. Anyway, I think it's just kind of like instantaneous manifesting, because that's happening for a lot of us juicy co-creators that are manifestation portals are very, very open. So with that being said, what you think, say, and do is real, baby. It is really real. Okay, so I'm going to pick a card based on my story of a Charlie horse and judgment of pain and going back into moving from sadness, pain, hurt into joy and possibly, I'm going to say ecstatic. Ecstatic. Okay, I just woke up. Let me have coffee. Hold on. Okay, ecstatic. I'm ecstatic and grateful for that sip of coffee. I'm going to pull one of my cards. So I've got some cards here. So, all right. So going back to this idea of transcending pain, so this is my card. It says purpose, engaged, and tenderness. So these are some feeling tones that we're going to pull in real quick before I end this little, I don't even know what this is. I don't even know. Okay. So with the purpose for pain, when pain shows up, there is a purpose there. The purpose may be that you're gaining more awareness of the messages from your body. The purpose may be also that you are tuning into new ways of approaching feeling tones, emotional states, or spiritual awareness that's not in alignment with you anymore, that your purpose is coming more into alignment, more into your truth. Purpose could also mean that you are that your purpose is that you're already living this, that you're already fully aware and keen and attuned to your own body as it gives you messages along the way. It's like a little breadcrumbs on the path. Don't eat them. You got to follow them. Don't eat them. And then the second word here is engaged. So be engaged in your process. Be engaged in whatever you're seeking to find within your feelings wheel here. And if you have pain somewhere in your body, be engaged. Be like, I'm going to go steady with you, buddy, until we get this thing, like, get her done. So be focused on what is presently showing up in your body. Be present to it. Be engaged in what shows up. Be engaged as you are beginning to tune into a little bit more of a psychic ability or the truth or alignment of your spiritual self by allowing that pain to dissolve away and out from the body. And then the next word here, if you can see it in purple, is tenderness. And tenderness is giving yourself that time to just be really tender and loving to yourself. So as inflammation shows up in the body, or these contractions show up, or these, sometimes people get a cellular mischief going on inside. When you give yourself more tenderness and go deeper into your body system, go deeper into it, go deeper into your joints. In that picture they showed the hip joint, the knee joint, the ankle joint, the elbows, the wrist. So go deeper into these places that are calling you and saying, listen, help us, help us. You are the gatekeeper of the body. So when we go into more tenderness and loving yourself, feel into that. Because it feels good. I was going to go into a couple more things, but I'm going to end with this, baby, this. I'm all about love. And that tenderness, these are my cards. They're on note cards now. These are like, no, I haven't even used these. Index cards. They're called index cards. Anyway, I've got a whole stack here that I've created that will be part of my class. And eventually this will be, I'm hoping will eventually be some kind of a book. Because I've written a lot of stuff so far, but I want fresh stuff. So when we go into that idea of having purpose, being engaged, being into tenderness, and of course, I didn't know I was going to pull that card. Anyway, but it goes into love, and that loving begins with loving yourself. That's not psychic. You don't need to be psychic, or you don't need to be like totally aware. You can just go, I love myself. And as you love yourself more and you treat yourself with body, just love yourself, then that love extends out and out and out. And all of a sudden you look around, kind of like in this picture here, this whole field here is field of love. That's what you're saturated in if you have the eyes to see and the heart to open to feel into it, and then be in alignment with what your truth is. So that's all I got. This kind of got chatty today. Psychic ability class is coming up. If you have an interest in it, reach out to me. Say, hey, baby, what's going on? And I'll say, you need to sign up. We all need to sign up. Who wants to sign up now? Who wants to be engaged? Who wants to really understand more about what their purpose is? And who wants more tenderness in their life and more love, more juicy? I'm all about the juicy. I can't leave that out. Anyway, that's all I got for you. And you have a most beautiful day. I want to give some references here. NVC Emotional Will. This is nonviolent communication. You can Google that, nonviolent communication. Also, I did a reference to Discover the Power Within, and this is Eric Butterworth, The Power Within You, beautiful book. And I'll end with a quote here. We don't change what we are. We change what we think we are. And this is a quote from Eric Butterworth. So I love all the beautiful beings that inspire me, just like you inspire me. So have a most beautiful and juicy, delicious day. Yes.